So good morning and welcome to the 7 a.m. Mastermind Club. We are thrilled to have you live in the room with us. Pazit, Perez, and I teach this, we live it, we apply it, and we want to bring this information to as many people as we can so that you can all bring this information to as many people as you can. So welcome to everybody in the room, and if you're watching the recording, welcome.
So welcome everybody. We're so happy and pleased to have you, and we're so excited to dive into the 11 laws. So I'm just going to start off by saying that these 11 invisible laws, they were always there. And in order to embrace success in your life and more happiness, these 11 forgotten laws need to be understood. These laws work the same for everyone at any time and anywhere. People can live a fulfilling life, achieving what they want to achieve if they live in harmony with these laws. So today we're going to be covering the three first laws, which is the law of thinking, the law of supply, and the law of attraction. So I think, Carolyn, you wanted to do a bit of an intro into the principles of the 11 forgotten laws.
Yeah, I'm going to read from the text. Now, if you've registered and you got the email, you would have had the opportunity to download the text working with the law. So this is the book that I've been working with a long time, Pazit as well, and we've broken it down. So Working with the Law is a book written in 1964 by Dr. Raymond Holliwell. So just be aware of the language of it. May seem like it's a little bit old and frayed, but it is a product of when it was written. Okay, so the introduction to the 11 laws in this book really needs a little bit of the background of what working with the law actually means, right? So I'm just going to read you a little bit from the intro of this book just to give us some context. Okay, so the question uppermost in the world of thought today, this is going back to 1964, just as applicable today, is whether a man, woman, has the capacity, equipment, and power to control his life, whether he can be what he wants to be, or whether he is a drop in the great ocean of life. Millions complain of sickness and disorder in countless forms. All this gives rise to the belief that we are victims of circumstance over which we have no control. Such belief makes us fatalists and karmic addicts instead of masters and controllers of our destinies. A fatalistic belief is contagious, and when man submits to its influence, believing that the circumstances around him are stronger than the power within him, that man is defeated before the race is run. In the history of the race and the biology of man, there is a long list of evidence of man overcoming circumstances and meeting his problems of life. Evolution and anthropology alike furnish the truth that man is responsible for what he is. He has the power to control his circumstances, and by using his power, he has created other circumstances more necessary in his upward climb. Yet some, not sure that we create our circumstances, are rather prone to think that they are caused by heredity and karma, environment, and numerous other external things. So the scientist, on the other hand, searching into the mysteries of human life, reveals to us a wonderful world of power, possibility, and promise. He tells us that the mind is the creative cause of all that transpires in the life of man, and that the personal conditions are the result of man's actions, that all the actions of man are the direct outcome of his ideas, and that we never make a move of any kind until we first form some image or plan in our mind. These plans and ideas are powerful and potent, and they are the causes, good, bad, or indifferent, of the following effects, which in turn correspond to their nature. He tells us that these ideas liberate a tremendous energy. Hence, when we learn to employ our mind constructively, we use correctly these hidden powers, forces, and faculties. And the scientist tells us this is the key to living a successful life. There's a marvelous inner world that exists within man, and the revelation of such a world enables man to do, attain, and to achieve anything he desires within the bounds or limits of nature. And within the man is the cause of his failure or success. So one of the laws we're going to learn a little further on is the law of cause and effect. And this is exactly what this is. We're responsible for the causes, ourselves, and then the effects show up as a result. You are the master of your circumstance. Call forth your power, initiative, and ingenuity, and be the master, because all conditions are the result of our actions, and all actions are the outcome or the fruit of our ideas. So our ideas must determine the conditions in our daily lives. An idea is a thought or a group of thoughts. An idea is an image or a picture in the mind, and there must have been an idea or a mental picture in the back of every well-known achievement and invention. So once you establish the mental picture in your mind, you're on the way to creating the results that you want. Every man is his own designer and builder. He makes his creations within before they materialize on the outside. So every idea and mental picture must produce after its own kind, whether the picture is good, bad, or indifferent. The law does not question or challenge the kind of picture we give to it. It only knows that it must take what is offered or planted and then proceed to materialize it into visible form. Right? So
that's powerful, right, guys?
yeah.
I mean, basically, in a few words, what this says is that you are the creator of your reality. And your thought, what you think, becomes the out picture of your life. So your life is a little bit, think of it like a mirror. You know, when you look in the mirror, your life is a mirror to what you're thinking. So you, by becoming the causer, you're the one who's causing the thoughts because you're the one who's thinking those thoughts. Now, most of us were at the mercy of our circumstances. Circumstances meaning we learn to look, we see what's on the outside, and we get, and we act or we respond from the outside. So for example, if you're in a car accident, you know, you respond like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? You don't understand that behind the car accident, there was some thoughts in you that were thinking something that led to having the car accident. So basically, when you start to look really deep into it, you understand that the root of everything that you've created in your mind, in your world, has started in your mind. And that is such an important principle. And this is what brings us to the first principle, which is the law of thinking. And so the law of thinking dictates that we can only attract what we think. That by changing your conscious thought patterns, which are the ruling state, you will allow yourself to effectively change the result to what you want. How far a person can go or how great the success a person can have depends on the thinking. So the quality of your thoughts becomes the quality of your life. In order to achieve big success, a person has to think big. When you think success, you will attract success. So your thoughts are like seeds. I want you, if any of you do gardening or know a little bit about gardening, your thoughts are seeds. So seeds, let's just say you plant a carrot seed in the ground, you're going to get a carrot. If you plant thoughts of lack, if you plant thoughts of failure, if you plant thoughts of chaos, you are going to get exactly that in your life. So the chaos may be the car accident.
Okay? Exactly. The thoughts are the cause and the circumstance is the result. The cause and the effect. So your thoughts, I always love this principle because we understand that we are in the driver's seat. We get to choose the thoughts that we think. You know, we are all programmed to think that we're victims of circumstance, that what shows up in our life was just either simply random or it is something that we have no control over, when in fact, if you go back to what Pazit and I call the workshop, which is in your mind, you make decisions that these thoughts that you're thinking, you observe them, see the quality of the thought, and then if you don't like the result that you're getting, change the thought. And you can do that anytime, anywhere.
That's the power.
That's the power.
So when you see things that are happening on the outside, just think of it as feedback.
Yep.
Feedback, meaning, ooh, what was I thinking that caused this? You know, so your outside, the out picture of your life is just feedback to what you're thinking. So once you understand that it's just feedback. So for example, if you don't like your financial situation, it's just feedback. So you think, what can I do? You know, what kind of thoughts am I thinking? Am I thinking thoughts of loss? Am I thinking thoughts of lack? You know, is there somewhere feelings of a low self-worth? Things like that will affect the out picture of what you see. So once you get the feedback from the outside world, you're like, okay, so I need to change some of the seeds I'm planting. So, you know, by repetition, you start planting new thoughts in your mind that are aligned with what you know, with who you want to be, and your thoughts, we think in pictures, right?
We think in pictures, yeah.
We think in pictures. So you have to remember that. We think in pictures. So the first thing to do would be to really get a good picture of what you want your life to look like. You know, like, what do you want? What do you want? What kind of lifestyle you want? Who do you want to become? You have to start thinking with the end in mind, and then have your thoughts align and be congruent with that image that you're creating of yourself.
And one of the things we're going to learn through these laws, and we'll cover this today, we have the law of attraction, and a lot of people are familiar with that law, but it's actually the secondary law to the law of vibration. You can't have the law of attraction. You can't have any of it without talking and studying the vibrational energy that you're at. And vibrational energy simply means, how are you feeling? So when you think a thought and it gives you a feeling of, you feel good, you feel joyful, your emotions are less than those, they're feeling a little bit off or depleted, you're going to get the same result as your thoughts, and your feelings will produce the outcome, which is your result or the effect. So you're watching your thoughts, but your thoughts will create a feeling. So the key is to think thoughts that keep you in a higher vibrational frequency. In other words, you want to feel good. And if you're not feeling good, what can you do to raise that feeling from where it is one step up to feeling a little bit better? Because you know that you attract what you are. So if you're feeling really good, the results and the circumstances and the people and the opportunities you're going to attract, attracts like. So there's a few basic principles to all these laws, but if we were to really break them down, it starts with the law of thinking, understanding that your thoughts actually do produce things. That's the simplest way. Your thoughts produce feelings, and your feelings will put you in the same energy as the results that you want. So if you want great results, your work is to change your thoughts and your feelings to match what you want. And yes, you can do that anytime you want.
Exactly. And most people, what we were trained to do is to change things on the outside. Oh, I don't like this job, I'll go get another job. No, you're going to have the same things show up in your life. Oh, I don't like this person, I'm going to go get myself some new friends. And then you're like, why is my new friends like my old friends? Oh, I don't like this relationship, I'll go get a new relationship. And then you're like, that's so funny. His name was different, but he looks exactly like, you know, like he has the same habits and the same issues that I had in my last relationship keep coming. Why? Because your thoughts travel with you. Your thoughts travel with you. Wherever you go, they come. So you keep creating. If you're always thinking the same type of thoughts, you're always recreating the same kind of circumstance. So you're almost like living in the same movie over and over, except you have new characters. They have new names, okay? They have new names, but the issues are always the same because the quality of the thoughts are the same. Okay, so did you want to add anything else before we dive into law number 2 for the law of supply?
Yeah, I just want to read a passage from the law of thinking here. And it says, thought is a subtle element. Although it's invisible to physical sight, it's an actual force or substance as real as electricity, light, heat, water, or even stone. We are surrounded by a vast ocean of thought stuff through which our thoughts pass like currents of electricity or tiny streaks of light or musical waves. We can't see our thoughts, and we tend to think our thoughts are our brain or our mind. Our thoughts are electrical currents. That's how powerful they are. That's why you want to learn how to change the way you think to achieve the results. Even though you can't see it, even though there's no evidence of it, we understand the law of gravity because we can see it works, but you can't see your thoughts. So when you study these laws and you become familiar with them, then you start incorporating them and understanding and applying them. You understand the power that you have to change anything you want in your life. That's the magic, and it's in the palm of your hand.
Exactly. And as you think, exactly, it's really as you think you become. And so, yes, you can see yourself, you can't see your thoughts in your mind, but you can definitely see the results of your thoughts on the outside, which is the, you know, the mirror, your life. It's called your life, which you see. So you see the results of your thoughts. And I want you to know that whatever results you see, you can always change it, because the power is within you. The power is in the thought. You change the quality of the thought. You change the direction of your thought.
Yeah.
If you want to experience abundance, well, you change your lack of scarcity to abundance. If you want more happiness in your life, you change from, you know, unhappiness and go to happiness. And what you have to do is you have to keep those, your focus and your vibration on what you want. So if it's abundance, you have to always bring yourself back to thoughts of abundance, even if you're in lack right now. Bring your thoughts to happiness, even if right now everything in your life is falling apart. You have to bring yourself back to find the happiness in the mass. Okay.
Yes.
Because you have to realize that you are the one who's controlling. It's like your mind is like a ship. It's going to go wherever you take it. So take it to where you want to go.
And create a mental picture of what that is. I mean, that's what most people don't take the time to do. They just allow themselves to be victim of circumstance. But really what you want to do is take the time to create a mental picture of what you want, whatever that is. And as you'll hear us say over and over again, the how is not your work. How it's going to show up, where all of the components are going to come from for you to achieve that goal is not your work. That part you leave to the universal mind. You just have to trust that if you follow these laws, like road laws, like, you know, stopping at stop signs and stopping at red lights, you do it because you know it's how order is kept. So you want to have some discipline with your thinking, just like you're on, you know, the highway, you follow the laws. And when you follow the laws, you keep yourself safe. So you want to learn the laws and then start applying them and following them and watch your life change. It happens for every person, every time.
Absolutely. And just like a seed, and coming to a closure, when you think of it as seed in the garden, the seed doesn't go chasing the sun saying, yo, sun, come shed some light on me. He doesn't go looking for water saying, hey, where's the water? No, he stays planted where he's at, and he attracts all the proper nutrients and whatever it needs in order for it to become the carrot. The carrot doesn't chase the things. So very much like your ideas, you don't need to go chase things. What you need to do is just concentrate on the seed that you've planted. So if it's seeds of abundance, then you concentrate on abundance, okay? And you will attract it. You will find opportunities that will come to you. You will get inspired ideas. And when you get those inspired ideas, you act on them. When the inspired ideas come, you don't go try and force it to happen. You let it happen. You allow it to happen. Okay.
No.
So that's pretty much covered for the law of thinking. So really it comes down to, as you think, you become. The second law we're going to dive into is the law of supply. And the law of supply depicts that the universe is a source of unlimited supply. Let me say that again. Unlimited supply. It is enough for everyone. If we focus on abundance, our feelings, emotions, and actions eventually attract abundance into our life. It is possible to achieve success in any area that you are doing if you release yourself from the belief of scarcity. The universe does not restrict or limit what we could achieve, but we do it if we allow it. We do it if we allow it. So again, what I want you to understand is that all these laws, they're not separate. They work together. They work together. It's like a dance. They work together. So Carolyn, you want to dive more into the law of supply?
Well, the law of supply is the infinite, right? So ask and it shall be given unto you. So get into the habit of asking for what you want, okay? Because you have to decide what's the effect that you want. Okay, so whatever the effect is you want, you focus on that and the supply will be given unto you. The supply is already here. Okay, the law of supply dictates that there is an infinite amount of anything that you could possibly want. You just need to determine what that is, ask for it, okay, and demand of the universe what it is that you want. The supply is already here, right? There is no place where, Wanda's supply is over here in her lifetime, and everything she wants is only over here. And if she keeps asking, it's going to deplete down to maybe there'll be nothing left. Everything you want is unlimited. So the law is being, it's in perpetual increase all the time. Progress, growth, okay? When one good is realized, another desire pops up for greater good. And one idea brings more supply, brings more results. It's perpetual, it's constant. So every person, consciously or unconsciously, is operating this law in one or more of its phases. It works universally on every plane of life's expression. We are all daily drawing into our lives the things we most desire and expect, whether we attract good things or not. The principle's the same. So again, we're always going to come back to the law of thinking. I love this little poem, and we talk about this, right? Your mind is the garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. You got to decide what the result is that you want, and the supply of all the ingredients. That's where we say it doesn't matter the how, will be supplied to you, because there's an infinite supply for you just waiting for me. So nothing can ever become something, nor can something ever become nothing. Substance can be converted, transmuted, or changed in a million ways, but it can never be destroyed. So isn't that just so amazingly exciting to know that whatever you set your mind to, whatever your goal is, and you ask for all of the cooperative components to show up, that it will happen for you if you train your mind to think about what you want and not what you don't want?
That's right. And I was going to add, they're just seeds. Like success is a seed. Failure is a seed. Abundance is a seed. Scarcity is a seed. You decide what you want to plant in your garden of your mind. Yeah. So once you understand that, and there's no limitation of what you can think. This is why there's abundance. You have an abundance because you can have as many thoughts as you want. There's an abundance of thoughts. Your thoughts are not limited. It's you who limits them by your thinking.
I want to just address the whole idea of worry and concern, okay? Because we know that we want to develop the calmness of the mind. James Allen wrote Serenity in the back of As a Man Thinketh. You want to have calmness of the mind. The chaotic mind is going to produce chaotic results. So the thing we dare not do is fret and worry about supply or where our next dollar is coming from. Fret and worry tend to restrict and limit the supply at hand. They tend to close off the outflow of substance, whether that flow is small or large. Instead of lifting us out of limitation, instead of improving our conditions or increasing our supply, it drags us deeper into the throes of doubt and fear. Instead of expecting more to follow, we grow tense and anxious, which increases our fear and brings us less and less. Instead of tightening up our thinking, we must relax and become more expanding.
That's right. Because we know that the universal laws are working, and we know that there is no lack, you can be calm, you can be relaxed. You know that you're being taken care of. The carrot seed doesn't worry, like, am I going to get water? Am I going to get sand? Am I going to get everything I need? Like, no, it's not stressed out. It's not worried. It knows that it's going to have everything that it needs for it to grow into the carrot. And so you must take on the same kind of thinking, that knowing that everything that you want will come to you by the quality of your thoughts. So just maintain your thoughts in the direction, regardless of what the circumstances are. Don't go by what you see with your eyes, because what you see with your eyes is a result of past thinking. It's past thinking. So if you keep going by what you see with your eyes, you keep recreating more of the past. You're in a loop. So what you have to do is you have to create new thoughts that will bring in a new quality of life.
Yeah. So when you desire any particular effect, so we get used to the vocabulary of cause and effect, because it is one of the universal laws. and you're responsible for the causes, and the effects show up. That's the result, right? So when you desire any particular effect, it's because that specific good is already in existence. I say to authors all the time, if the idea comes to you, it's meant for you. It's because it's already here. It's already in existence. You are the receiver of it. Therefore, it's yours to act upon. It's coming to you because it's unlimited in its supply just for you. So the good is already in existence in the sphere of causes. Recognize then that when you desire any particular effect, this desire is an appearance of an underlying cause. It shows up, this idea. Nurture it, understand it. It's meant for you. Opportunity is for you everywhere. The abundant supply is everywhere. I just find that makes life so exciting because every day is just an abundance of opportunities. It's up to us to become aware of the opportunities around us and start acting as if what we want is already here. And guess what? It will.
Absolutely, it will show up.
Yeah.
And what I suggest as a good exercise is always look around you. You'll see how there's an abundance of everything. Just look in your house, look in your environment, how many books you have, how many trees are outside, the grass, how many cars, how many people, okay? Abundance is so easy to see everywhere. How many pieces of artwork you have, how many frames you have on your wall. So you train yourself to always look for abundance. And I also suggest that you use triggers, you know, like when it rains. Before I used to be like, oh, it's a rainy day. Now I think like rainmaker. So I associated rainmaker to rain. And now when it rains, I'm excited. I'm like, oh, it's a rainmaker day. It's a rainmaker day. So you start giving different meanings to things because we're the ones who give meanings to, you know, to whatever we see on the outside. So why don't you give it a meaning that brings you joy, brings you abundance, bring you success, you know? And even small successes, there's no such thing as small or big success. It's just us that we say, oh, this is a small success or this is a big. Always celebrate everything that you do. If today you got through the day and you notice more abundance, you notice more of how the universe is unlimited. You will see the unlimitedness of the universe everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, look at all the buildings around you. It's incredible how much water, the ocean. I'm looking at the ocean. It's like there's no end. There's no end. So now that you know that, you're like, you could be at peace, and you know that, you just have to get into alignment with it.
Yeah.
Everything you want is already here. Everything you want is already here. You just have to match it within yourself, and you match it in your reality. If you're not a match to what you want, you will not get it. If you want abundance, but you're thinking scarcity, you're not going to get it because they're two conflicting ideas.
Yes, think of it as being on different radio frequencies,
That's
like
right.
you're on one station on the radio and somebody says, well, are you listening to this show on the radio? And you said, I don't hear it. Well,
That's
you're
right.
not on the right station. You have to switch your frequency.
That's right. You want success, you turn on the success channel. You want abundance, you turn on the abundance channel. You want beautiful relationships, you turn on the beautiful relationships channel. So once you turn on that channel and you start listening to it, you start being in harmony with it and vibrating with it, which will take us into our third law, the law of attraction, the law of vibration. So We'll dive into that one.
Yeah.
So the law of attraction and the law of vibration is all about what we focus on, we will attract. Everything we experience in our life is dictated by our own mindset. If you're a positive thinker, the universe will respond in harmony with you and you will get what you desire. So it's important to just focus on thinking about what you want and get emotionally involved to attract it in your life. So the most important, the core of the law of vibration is that whatever you focus on, you will attract. And whatever you're thinking about, you have to get emotionally involved to attract it in your life.
Yeah, and that's the principle of desire, right? And if you've read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, it's one of the very first parts of that book. Desire is where emotion is involved. So when you have a desire for something and you get emotionally attached to the outcome of it having already been achieved. Okay, that's the important component here, because we don't want to always talk in the future tense. We want to sit down quietly every day, imagine what we want. Don't worry about the how. That part absolutely doesn't have anything to do with it. You want to have a desire. And when you have a desire and you get emotionally attached to the outcome, you feel good. And when you feel good, you're moving closer to the expectation of having it. And desire without expectation is just wishing or dreaming. You want to get emotionally attached to what it feels like. So for example, if you're looking to attract a new home into your life and you see one, most people will say, well, that's nice. I can't afford that house. That's like, forget that. No, you want to go into that desire. You want to get emotionally attached to the outcome of what does it feel like now that it's here, and go live in that house in your mind. Go take up residence in that house in your mind, so much so that when the house finally does come to you, you're going to be so comfortable in there, it won't even feel like it's a new thing anymore because you're so accustomed to living in it. And the cooperative components of that will show up. All of a sudden, the affordability that was in your mind, which is scarcity and lack mentality, if you can put that aside and think of the fact that it's already here and you're vibrationally in harmony with that, what that feels like, unimaginable circumstances and opportunities and people and events will start showing up. It's law. It's not fancy. This is how the laws work, right?
Right. It goes a little bit contrary to what you think, because most people, if they want to buy, say, a property or something like that, right? First of all, they'll go only in the price range that they think they can afford. What they're going to do is they're going to look at their bank account and then they're going to go look for the property. That's the, when you're working with attraction, that's not exactly the way it works. Basically, is you go look for the property that you want. Okay. You go look for the property that you want. You don't look at prices. You just look for the property that you want. And once you find that property, you ask yourself, how can I, you start imagining how you can make it work, like what are some different options? You can see yourself already living in that apartment, even if you're in your own house right now. That's what I do. I live in it. When I was in a different property, right now I'm in the penthouse, so I made it. But when I was in different properties, I was already living in the penthouse before I was in the penthouse. So basically, you have to create your picture before you're in it. Before you're in it, I already see myself as a success before I was a success. I already see myself as a star before I'm a star. And so you have to do the same. If there's any property that you want, you don't be like, oh yeah, that's not for me. No, it is for you. It is for you because it's just on a different level of you. So why don't you create yourself at that level so you can
grow into it?
You can grow into it and you can become a match to it. And it was so funny with Carolyn, because I've been saying, I want to be in the penthouse. I want to be in the penthouse. And I reached out to Carolyn. I said, Carolyn, she goes, what? I said, I got the penthouse. Yeah. And she's like, how did you do it? I said, well, I attracted it. And then,
we know how that works, right? Because you're never aspiring to something in the future. The key to thinking in a certain way is to imagine it's already here, because it is, right?
That's right.
So here I'm just a couple of notes from the text. So when an individual earnestly desires a thing, he sets up a line of force that connects him with the invisible side of the good desired. You have to trust in these laws.
That's right.
You have to understand that they're working for you all the time. We're the ones who create the vacuum of them working against us because our thinking makes it so. So when you say, oh my gosh, you have no idea what kind of bad luck I have, you want to start paying attention to the way that you speak to yourself. When somebody opens up a conversation, and I recognize this often, right? When you just open a conversation with someone, they go, oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like, life is so hard. Yeah. Life is going to be hard if you determine it's hard. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. It just is. So how are you framing your thoughts? How are you determining your day? Are you setting your success up before your day begins? Say, this is the best day ever. And visualize the result that you want at the end of the day. I guarantee you, if you do that every day, the results that show up in your life will change almost immediately. Absolutely. Only because you've changed your thinking and the vibration. So when we talk about the law of attraction, you can't talk about the law of attraction without the law of vibration, because it's the primary law. You can't attract to you if you're not in harmony with the vibration of it. So law of attraction, law of vibration, kind of one in the same, and you can't have one without the
Right.
other. So,
and vibration is the feeling. It's the feeling. It's how you feel, you know?
yeah.
And I was going to just mention one more thing that's very, very important. It's not talked about a lot, but it's when you look at yourself in the mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what are the thoughts? Oh, I don't like, I don't like what you know, I don't like what I see. Are you scolding yourself? You have to really start noticing what you're saying to yourself, because the mirror will reflect back to you, your life. So if you're like, oh, I don't look good. Look at me. My skin is sagging. Oh, this, oh, I don't like my hair. You look at you, you've aged. You're creating more of that on you. So I really want you, each and one of you, to be very conscientious when you look at yourself in the mirror, to start saying really good things about you. Say, hey, you superstar. Hey, gorgeous. How are you this morning? You
Kiss
know?
yourself in the
That's
mirror.
right. And even if it feels unnatural, okay, even if it feels unnatural, because when I started doing that, it was very unnatural. I have to tell you that that has a huge impact on how it shapes your life, bigger than you imagine, because the mirror reflects back to you the thoughts that you think. And that also puts you in a vibration. That also puts you in a vibration. If you look at yourself and you're like, oh, look at you, such a failure, another day. That's the energy that you're carrying. So a lot of people are like, oh, but I'm positive. No, no, no. Those thoughts are nothing positive. They're everything. They're toxic, and they're ruining you, and they are showing up in your life. So I want you to start with you and with the person you see in the mirror, and you start loving that person. And, you know, and we look in the mirror often. So in the mirror, every time I look at it, I put my power music, and I'm like, you know, I got my rock star music going on, and I see myself like a rock star, and I dance, and you know, and don't be shy to do that, because it will reflect back at you. The joy that you give to the mirror reflects back at you.
Well, here we go. So the mind, I'm just read a passage here, because I mean, there's so much good in all of this, and it would take forever to read, but there's different little parts here. The mind is a magnet. So think of it that way. That's an easy one to get your, to get your thoughts to. So the mind is a magnet, and it attracts whatever corresponds to its ruling state. So whatever we image in our mind, whatever we expect and think about, will tend to bring into our lives the things and conditions that are in harmony with that. So science has convincingly proven the existence and constant operation of the law of mental attraction. For this reason, everyone should be doubly careful about how and what he thinks. Our predominant mental attitude is the primary cause of most everything that comes into our lives, and the sooner we realize this truth, the sooner we shall begin to improve our lives and progress to success. It's just all in that paragraph. Become aware that what you think about become the results that you achieve. The circumstances that are currently in your life, if you don't like them, you can change them simply by changing your thoughts.
Exactly. So basically, how can you work with these three principles? How do you tie them in together? Well, the first thing is that you want to know what you want. You absolutely want to know what you want. You know, it's like you going to the airport and saying, yeah, I want to book a flight. And they're saying, where do you want to go? You're like, I don't know. No, but seriously, where do you want to go? I don't know. No, you got to know where you're going. So you're going, wherever you're going, the picture becomes your destination. So how does that look like for you in your life? What do you want to be? What do you want to become? You want to become a New York Times bestseller. You want to become, a superstar TV host. You want to be the best mother in the world. Whatever it is for you, have the end in mind. You want to become a very well-known, high-paid artist, okay? If you want to be that person, you got to have an idea of what that looks like. What do you look like as that person, that successful side of you? That's the number one. So create a picture of the end, how you see yourself. What kind of lifestyle? What are you wearing? How are you showing up? And don't wait for you to get there. Get there now.
Yeah.
You could be there right now. Just like a kid, when we used to use our imagination, we used to create houses and tents, and we used to create all these things. We didn't have cars. We used to pretend we're driving. Go back into that. Go back into
the
that.
Power of it's one of your primary thought centers, right? Is your imagination. Go back and use it.
That's right.
Spend some time every day in daydream thought, right?
Live in your house, live in your penthouse, live in your mansion, live as that artist, live as that millionaire artist, not that that poor artist. Live as that rich artist. What does it look like? Okay.
And it will require you to make some adjustments, because becoming means growth. When I teach my clients about becoming authors, it's that part that's so critical in the process. Becoming the author. What does that look like? Who are you now that it has happened? Now that the results have been achieved, what does that feel like? And all of a sudden you're asked to make some adjustments. Are they going to be comfortable? No. They're not. They're going to ask you to do things in a different way. Why? To get a different result. So understand that it's a process of change, growth, and transformation. We're always in this process. But the beautiful thing is we have laws that are universal, that are always working for us. They're always to support our greater good. Everything is always working out for us if you listen to Esther, because
Absolutely.
it is. Everything is good. Chaos does not belong. Disruption does not belong.
Scarcity does not belong. It's a virus of the mind. It's a virus
Exactly.
of the mind. But what I was going to also say, I just wanted to give you guys like a quick picture and idea of it before we open up the floor, is that Carolyn International, when we created an image of her, and a really good thing to do is to create it with a picture. Okay, create that picture, create that image, take the time to take that picture of yourself, okay, as who you aspire to become. We created Carolyn International before it showed up in her reality. Carolyn International was always in Carolyn. We just brought it out in studio. And once we created that image of her, she became it. She, by attraction, she started going onto flights, even though she was, she was afraid of flying. Now she flies like it's easy peasy,
I
She
had
got
to change the way I thought about
grew
that
into
too.
it. Her actions changed. Her mind changed. Her ideas started to think more as Carolyn International, not Carolyn local. Okay, she went from local to international, and she did that like in a very, very short period of time, within like a year and a half, I believe, from the portrait. So how did it start? It started with a picture, a tangible portrait of how she looks like at the end. And today she's already achieved that. She's already achieved that. And she started acting congruently. So just like the seed was the picture. And then everything else came to her. She started doing workshops. She had this idea to do workshops in Florida by the sea. So she started with that. Then she went to California. Then she went to London. And now look at her, for most of you, you're going to start hearing about all her plans for next year. She already has another event in Key West in Florida coming up in January, and another one in LA. So there's a lot of coming. There's a lot more coming. So you understand, she grew into that picture. She was always it. You guys are always that version of you. You just have to grow into it. You just have to grow into it.
It's already here.
That's right.
It's already here. So so today, after today, you're now in awareness. So now you have the basics that you need to know that whatever you want is yours. So it's your thinking mind that will create it for you. So make a decision this week. What do you want? What is it that you want? And then use your imagination, and do not judge it, and do not wonder how you're going to get it. Put those thoughts out of your mind. They don't matter. Trust me, they do not matter. All that matters is you make a decision. What is it that you want? Who are you becoming? What is the version of life that you want to live? I wanted to live a life that was location independent. I didn't need a home base. I could work and travel and do what I love to do all over the world. So I just imagined it the way I pictured it to be. Nobody handed it. I took action, because the universe responds to inspired action. You must take action, but that's what you're going to be called to do. You're going to be called to make changes, take action, do things that you didn't do before to get results that you've never had. But you're in charge of the whole operation, which is just so phenomenal, the power that we have.
Absolutely. We do create our reality. I create it all the time. Carolyn creates it all the time. You guys create it all the time. You're always creating it. You are always creating it, for good or for bad. So why don't you create it the way that you want, and not be at the mercy of the circumstances? Don't let the circumstances control your life. Why don't you become the driver? This is what it is about studying the 11 laws, is that you become the creator, the co-creator of your life. And just by thought, just by planting those seeds in your mind, everything that you want comes to you. I didn't have to go looking for the penthouse. The penthouse came
Exactly.
to me.
You're the acorn.
It came to me. And so Carolyn too, her life came to her. Propositions and ideas came to her. Opportunities came to her. And this is how we want to teach you guys to live very magically, where you can picture what you want and you can create it into your reality. Okay. So I think, Carolyn, what we're going to do, I know this one was a little bit long because we had like the intro, plus we went into the 3 laws. We want you guys to absolutely practice these laws this week, every single day. Remember that the understanding of it is one thing, but the practice of it is another. If you guys have any questions, please put them. I think there's a group, Carolyn, right, on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. Yep. We're going to add all the new ones as well. We're going to tag you. And if you have any questions, please send us questions. We love to answer them. And remember that, create the end before the beginning, and everything else you can just sit in the comfort knowing that you will just attract those things. But when you get these inspired actions, when you get an idea, call so-and-so. When you get an idea, go here, move here, get out of your way. Get out of your way and go do them. Go do them. And you will see that your life will be in such a flow, so easy. You'll be like, I can't believe it used to be so hard. Like it becomes like so magical because it's fluid, and you become fluid with life. You don't resist life anymore. You trust it. You learn to trust again. You know that the universe is taking care of you because that you know that you are taking care of the thoughts that you think, and your life can change in a snap. Why? Because the minute you change that thought direction is the moment that you go in a new direction. It's in a snap.
Happens to everyone every time.
Exactly.
So be very picky about what you think about, be aware, feel really, really good, do things that make you feel good, right? Take care of you, take care of what it is in your life that brings you joy. Do more of those things. It'll raise your vibrational frequency, your energy, and then you'll become in harmony with the things you want. And we look forward to the calls, because we do this after, usually we teach for a little shorter time, so we have a chance for everyone to kind of chime in. But what we've loved watching is all of the progress. So as people start practicing and applying these laws, then they come into these calls, and usually what it starts with is, you're not going to believe what happened to me, right? And it's brilliant because it's how it works. You're going to be in awe of what changes in your life because you've now become aware and you're putting into practice and you're thinking in a certain way to achieve the results that you've pictured. And then your mind is your workshop, right, Pazit?
Absolutely. And the world is your playground. Your mind is your workshop and the world is your playground. So have fun. And what becomes really fun is like, once I achieve something, I think, okay, what else can I do now? I start like having fun. I'm like really very childlike, and I'm like, okay, now that I got here, okay, what's my next move? What do I want to create next?
What do I want next? So
yeah. And it's just so exciting. It's just so exciting. Does that mean that I don't see adversity? Of course I see adversity, just like you do. But what makes me strong is that I know that I work with the laws, and I know that the laws, I can count on them because they're not man-made. So because I have this conviction and this knowing that the laws are working for me, when things happen, I just say, oh, okay, what was I thinking, And I just have more fun for it. Or I say, oh, what's the opportunity here? When a challenge arises, what's the opportunity here? And if I don't feel good, it's not that I don't have any more emotions. When I don't feel good, I say, well, how long do you want to stay there, Pazit? I mean, how long do you want to stay there in the non-good feeling? And I think, well, not really long, because I know that if I stay long in it, I'm going to attract things like that in my day.
It'll create momentum for what you don't want.
Right. And I don't want that. So I snap out of it as fast as possible. I'll put on, I was telling Carolyn, my new thing is watching Steve Harvey. I think he's so funny. So if somebody, like if sometimes I get like, jolted or something happens, I put on Steve Harvey, I start cracking up and I change my, my thoughts in like five minutes. I put one of his videos. So that's my thing, but you guys find the thing that works for you. I know how to snap myself out of my moods or out of my circumstances, or, I don't let myself get dragged into it. Like sometimes I could see with my daughter, sometimes she challenges me and I say, sometimes I have to like get out and say, whoa. I don't let like her, like a vacuum, like drag me into her world. I say, no, I don't want to be part of this. So when all this is finished, if you want to be in chaos, you're allowed to do that, but I choose not to be part of your chaos. So when you're done with this whole, drama thing, you can come to me and we can talk about it. I choose not to be
participate
into different circumstances. You know, I say vacuum because, you know, the vacuum like sucks you in. I tell myself, do not get sucked in. Do not get sucked in. And so I talk to myself and I walk away and I say, when you're ready, we'll talk. So these are like little strategies that you can use for yourself if you're in certain circumstances, especially if you're in the room and
become the observer.
Yes, you become the observer and you say, and you get to remember that you have the choice. The power is in your hand. You get to choose how you react, how you respond, whether you allow yourself to be sucked in or whether you say, no, I will not allow this. I will not allow this. So you take your power back and then you shake it off. You shake off the mood and you get back into your feel good, because you know that feeling good is so important. It's so important to what you're attracting in your life. So you're going to do everything you can to keep yourself in harmony with what you want, So we'll leave it at that, Carolyn. I think we'll just open it up for a few minutes. We're going to open up the floor so you guys can talk. But I just wanted to, before we do, I hope that you guys all enjoyed this mastermind, that it increased your knowledge, and that you're going to, always remember that your mind is your workshop and the world is your playground. So have fun.
Just open it up for a couple of minutes. If anyone has any questions, I haven't seen questions in this. There's chat in the chat box, which is amazing and fantastic. Does anyone have any questions in particular before we wrap up today? And then same time next week, we'll cover the next few laws, and we'll add you to the Facebook group. And if you do have any questions in the meantime, please post them in the Facebook group, because we'll be happy to answer them. Things are going to start to come up now that this is in your awareness. You're going to start to have questions and things like, does this mean that? And so certainly reach out to us, because we'd be happy to answer you. Indra, did you have a question?
Yeah, start connecting the dots, guys.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I didn't have my video on. I wanted to really focus. I'm a big lover of Abraham, as Carolyn knows. And this has just come into my life. Yesterday, I think you invited me in, and I'm thinking, where am I going? And then I realized my life is changing so much massively, because I'm already a big author. I'm already healthy.
You are indeed. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sat here laughing in the UK thinking, where did these people come from? And how is this occurring right now? And I haven't got a question. I'm just really grateful, because I've been sat giggling.
Oh, bless you. I love giggling. And you know what? You asked for it, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. So, working with Esther for like 3 years solidly now, it's just been, this is just like, now there's like a real manifested group that's together. And for me, since I've met you, my life has just gone, whoo! And that's in 2 weeks, right?
So good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've had some fun, and some changes are in play because you made a decision. That's it. Yeah. You decided.
Yeah.
And
big decision.
You're the creator of your reality.
Yeah. And you show up, and you know what, Ingrid, I want to commend you because you decided to show up this morning. People invite you, and what's important is when people invite you and it's in alignment with what you're doing, go.
Yes. Say yes.
Go. Yes. Say yes. Don't be like, I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe. No. When somebody invites you, that's the universe. That's like something. And it's like, oh, it's congruent. It's in aligned with everything I'm doing. I'm expanding my mindset. A mastermind. What does a mastermind do? It allows you to expand even more your awareness and your mindset. So you take it. You go.
You say yes, and you say thank you, and you may not know why something is landing. Why something's landing in your lap, but in fact, you know that it is being given unto you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. And that's how we want to see everything in our life, as these opportunities, because that's what makes everything so magical.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Every day is a new and exciting adventure.
There's a big difference between saying yes and no.
Quick story. I've always had my book signing shoes. I had to put a picture up actually on the group. I was going to
put them on and take a picture.
I have these shoes that I've kept, and I've never worn them.
And start wearing them.
I've got these shoes. I've never worn them. They're amazing, and they're heels. I never wear heels, but I'm going to have to start to put them on and wear them.
Absolutely, start right away. Yeah. As of today, you start wearing those shoes. You already walk in that shoes of that published author. And like, don't save them, because if you're saving them, you're always pushing it into the future, which won't happen because you're saving them. You're saving them. Don't save them. Wear them. You're the author right now. You're that celebrity author right now. Wear the shoes, girl.
It's little things like that I'm sort of putting them away and just hoping, you know, and I realize they don't need putting away. Yes, they need putting on. And
walk in the footsteps of the person you are already. It's already here.
You're already her. You're already her.
Can I just ask quickly, and Esther talks about the 17-second process of visualizing the picture. Yeah. So what's your view on that? I mean, she says it only or Energy of Abraham says it only takes 17 seconds to actually visualize what it is that you want, as long as you keep your focus on that.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
So focusing is a discipline. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, we have to train ourselves to focus on whatever we want. Bob Proctor has a great exercise about focus. He says, just sit with a candle and stare at the flame and see how long you can actually concentrate. Turn off all distractions. We should all be doing it at some point in our day. Turn off your phone, get to a place where it's quiet. Know that this is your private time. So it could be just 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be long, of undivided focus. So start training yourself to focus on what you want. And I know Esther's, 17 seconds. It may even be shorter than that. I think what's important is that your focus is undivided and you feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's Neville Goddard stuff, right? You want to get into the energy of the wish fulfilled. So if you can do that for 5 seconds every day and expand that maybe a little bit longer, you're doing what you need to do to bring the goal closer to you and to you to get closer to the goal. It's the magnet thing.
Right. Yeah. Indra, what I strongly suggest you do, Indra, is that you picture yourself already, put the shoes on and that outfit that you have on that you would be wearing as that, published successful author, put it on, take a picture of you like as her. Okay.
Yep.
So you do that. Once you have the picture, I want you to look at it and energize. So just close your eyes until you become one with her, with that version of you that's already completed her book, is a success. She's on her book tour or whatever it is for you. I'm just like adding some stuff for you.
No, that's all that. Keep going.
Okay, good. I do read energy, but so you look at that picture and what focus does is it energizes. Yeah. It brings it to life. You're like the battery. Okay. So you energize it. So you look at yourself and you become one with the version of Ingrid that's already on tour. That she's already signing everybody, that she's touched life. People are coming up to you on the street, like even on the streets when you're walking, be like, oh yeah, absolutely, I signed my copy for you. Like, do like people are stopping you, Oh, are you Ingrid? Yeah, that's me. I did write that book.
You said stopping, not stalking, didn't you?
No, stopping. Stopping.
Stopping, not stalking. Yeah.
But do you remember when you took that picture of yourself outside the hotel when you're in the doorway? And I saw that picture. I said,
great photo.
Take that photo and use it as your profile picture. Because when I saw that photo, I could feel the energy of you becoming the you that you already are. So amongst all of the challenges that are showing up, the you that you are is the constant. So take the image, the visual of who that is. Like Pazit said, if your goal, that we're working on a book, it's already done. It's already here. What does it feel like? When I wanted to travel all over the world and do what I love to do, I used to imagine myself with my drivers taking me from airport to airport. That's what they do now. I used to imagine myself on flights. That's what I'm doing now. So, but you have to imagine it before you see it.
Yeah.
You've got to believe it.
You must live
from your vision.
You must live from your vision, not from who you are now. This is where people miss the mark.
Yes.
Most people live from where they are now and they're doing as if they're going to the vision. No, that's what you will never manifest it.
The other way around.
You got to live from your vision. You got to live from that successful author and you grow into it. So every day you walk as her, you act as her. When you're at the coffee shop, be like, oh my God, do they recognize me? Like I walked like a celebrity before I was a celebrity. I would walk into places and I expect people to, everywhere I go, people always open doors for me. Even the Uber drivers, they get out of the car to open the door for me because I expect it.
Wow.
I see myself that I have that energy, that persona. I bring it wherever I go.
Yeah.
And everywhere I walk like I belong. When people say, oh, we don't have a seat for you, I say, if I'm a celebrity, they always have a seat for me, right? So I say, can you please double check? And they would look, oh my God, we just have an opening. I'm like, I thought so.
Right.
Because you expect it. And I live from that place. I live from that place.
Real God.
This goes for everybody.
Stella Adler wrote a great book called The Art of Acting. Okay. And it is one of those books that actors use to train, because you are acting as if. It's the same as an actor's craft of becoming a person that they're trying to be. So they have to take on the qualities and the persona and the characteristics and all the idiosyncrasies, and they have to become somebody. It's the same thing. You have to become the person that you picture yourself to be. And how do you do that? You take on those characteristics. You dress the part. You act the part. You behave in ways that you go, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, what's going to start happening very quickly too, is that the people in your environment are going to start going, what's going on with her?
I hope so.
But they will do that, because now you're shifting, and either they shift with you to dance with you, or they just move to the background.
Yeah.
Not everybody will grow with you.
Not everybody will. And not everyone is going to be happy about your growth either, but that's not your business. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a great question. That was good for the whole group. That was fantastic. Thank you for asking. That was good for everybody.
Yes.
So we only had time for one question today, but we'll definitely be back next week, guys. Keep any questions that you have, or if we didn't have time to answer your question, do throw it in the chat. Practice the first 3 laws. Remember that your mind is your workshop. You are the co-creator. You are not a pawn. You are the causer, okay? You are not the effect of the world. You are the causer of the world. So, look at the world. Remember feedback. Your world is feedback. So if you don't like something in your world, you can snap out of it by changing your thought and start pulling everything towards that direction and live from your vision. And guys, the creative process is fun, okay? Don't get frustrated. Don't be like, oh, I'm not doing this. Don't get frustrated because you get frustration. It's fun. It's playful. Just have fun doing it, okay? And just take it lightly. And remember that you are where you are today because the power of your thoughts created it, and it took time to get you to where you are today. It's going to take you a little bit of time to master this skill, but the more you practice it, the faster you master it. So play with it every day. Play with it. This is play. Go back to being a child, or go back to being childlike, and just remember how much fun it was, how you used to think, oh, I want this and I want that. You never looked at the price when you were, your parents were shopping. You're like, I want this and I want that. You didn't care about price. That's just what you wanted. So remember to go back to that.
It's a lot of fun. I'm just going to answer Andrew's question quickly. So we have we have another group that starts on the 13th of June, which is the Mindset Mastery. It's a book club, and we will send out an email with a way to register for that. So we call that the 8 a.m. club. And that starts on the 13th of June. And basically it is a book study club. And we've got a list of books that we're going to read together just to be able to further master this. But as a group, reading it, infusing the knowledge into our life. And that will begin, just to answer your question, Andrew, on the 13th. So expect an email following this. We'll have the recording for you and the way to register for the 8 a.m. club book study.
Absolutely. So on that, we're going to wish you a magical week, guys. Go create, go have fun, and we'll see you all next week. We're going to be doing the 2 other laws as we continue, which is the law of receiving and the law of increase.
Yay.
Okay? So start building your blocks, one on top of the other until you've mastered it. By week 4, you guys will all become master creators. You already are, but now you're going to become just aware of it. You're just going to become aware of what you're creating. That's it. You already are. It's already in you. We're just teaching you how to go back and use the powers that you have within, and why it's called the invisible powers, because you can't see them. You can't see your thoughts, but you can see them on the outside. So, you don't like the picture. Let's take another shot.
Yeah.
All right. So have fun, guys. And thank you all for showing up. Welcome to all our new members.
Welcome, everybody. Love having you here.
We're only looking more and more to grow, and anything that you have, bring it to the mastermind.
Okay, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
See you again next week.
Have fun.
Have fun. Bye for now.